Good day, baseball fans, and welcome to episode 3. As always, my name is Jordan Vaughn, and today we are welcoming onto the podcast 5 uniquely specialized individuals who will give their insight on the issue of sports specialization in youth athletes as it pertains to injuries of the UCL, in addition to the importance of injury prevention. I would like to take a brief moment to thank MLB TV for sponsoring today's episode. With MLB TV, you can bring the excitement of Major League Baseball right to your living room. Now we welcome onto the podcast our special guests. Oh, here they are now. Hello, everyone. Hey, Dr. Vaughn.
Hello. Hey there.
Hello.
Hey, Doc. Thank you all for being here. Before we get started, I think it would be best for each of you to introduce yourselves. Any volunteers to go first? Yeah, I'll go first. What's up, guys? My name is Coach Eddie Steele Baker. I'm the head coach of the Crawdad Elite 14U baseball team here in Louisiana. Y'all might be wondering why they call me Steel. Well, it's because my arm was strong as steel back in the day. Not once in my 4-year high school career did my arm hurt. At Crawdad, our number one priority is winning. Our players do whatever it takes to help the team win. Otherwise, they aren't on the team. I've been coaching travel baseball now for 9 summers, and I hope to work my way up to high school and possibly college baseball in the future. I'm confident that my passion for winning will take me wherever I need to be in my future years. Thanks, Coach Baker. Please, call me Coach Steele. Thank you, Coach Steele. Who's next?
Okay, I'll go. Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Frank Steinberg. I'm an orthopedic surgeon here in my hometown of Pittsburgh, and I specialize in UCL reconstructive surgery, specifically on athletes. Every month, I consult and operate on dozens of pitchers who have suffered UCL injuries, many of whom are as young as 15 years old. I love nothing more than helping athletes treat their injuries. However, it deeply saddens me to see athletes come into my office with injuries that could have been very easily prevented. In my ideal world, I wouldn't have a job, as pitchers wouldn't have to go through frustrating injuries.
Thanks, Doctor. Let's now go to Coach Chris Hardman.
Hello. My name is Chris Hardman, and I've been the Ottawa Hills baseball coach for almost 40 years now. My goal every single year of my coaching career has been to put the 9 guys out on the field that give us the best chance of winning a state title in Akron. Although my arm has hurt not once since the 4th grade, I understand that times are changing, and pitchers are now taught to worry about a sore arm. You will find us in Akron on June 12th. We'll get there.
Thanks, Coach. Mr. Heehan? Hello, I'm Josh Heehan, and I'm the president of Advanced Therapy and Performance, an athletic training program that emphasizes injury prevention as well as great strides in the performance of our athletes. We believe that great performance can only be achieved injury-free. It is for this reason we put such a great emphasis on proactive measures to ensure that the bodies of our athletes can meet the incredibly high demands of the sports they play.
Hey, Mr. Bueller?
Hey everyone, my name is Matt Bueller, ex-LSU college baseball pitcher. I played for the first 3 years of college before tearing my UCL late in my junior year. My chances of making it to the bigs were suddenly slim, but I worked like an animal every day following the injury to get back up to par. I missed my team's College World Series run in 2018, my senior year, but nevertheless determined to fulfill my childhood dream of making it to pro. But by the time I finally recovered in 2019, my time had passed, and not even a minor league team could make a spot on the roster for me. I have since realized that although I can no longer play the game I love, I can use my own experiences to teach my baseball brothers just how important it is to do everything in your power as a pitcher to stay healthy. Injuries are not always timely.
Thank you, Mr. Bueller. All right, I think that's everyone. Let's get started. Many of you may be aware of the growing concerns surrounding early sports specialization and the effects on the risk of injury in athletes. I'm interested to hear everyone's take on this issue, considering the diverse group we have here with us today. Would anyone like to go first? Yeah, Doc, I'll start us off. At Astros Elite Baseball Academy, we take winning pretty darn seriously, so we don't coach losers. This means we demand 9 months out of our guys every year in order to make sure they become the best baseball players they can possibly be. We have had a couple players come through our program, and trust me, they didn't stay long, who asked if they could play other sports. Although it may sound insolent, my answer without hesitation was yes, but I can't have you on the team anymore. Players won't be chided for playing other sports. We simply just let them go. The less time players spend hitting, fielding, pitching, and the less progress they make in developing their baseball skills. We want players that can play. Everyone knows that it takes 10,000 hours to master a skill, so every hour counts. If our players really want to play baseball in college and beyond, it is a waste of time to develop skills in another sport. Showing up to practice and game demonstrates the commitment of players to their team and their success. Thanks, Coach. Would anyone like to refute?
Thanks, Coach. Josh Hehan here. Now, there are a couple key issues with some of the claims you just made. Number one, sure, practice makes perfect and all, but it is ignorant not to take into consideration the health of the players too, as injuries are never atypical, especially in pitchers. A study of 140 players performed by S.J. Olson et al. Revealed that pitching for 8 months out of the year makes players 5 times more likely to get surgery. So if you really want to talk about maximizing a player's training time, try talking to the 17-year-old kid with college dreams who suddenly has to rehab for a year after tearing their UCL. The rehab process gives no time for players to improve their skills, only for them to get back up to par. My second issue lies in your belief that players' renunciation of all other sports is the most productive decision for their high school baseball career. For their baseball career in total, if they are truly committed to playing at a higher level. What you haven't fully considered, however, is that different sports work different muscle groups and develop different skill sets. So not only do the muscle groups that are overworked during baseball get a break, but other sports could help develop skills that would otherwise lie untouched, and thus translating them to the mound. Basketball could help with leg strength and athleticism. Football could help with upper body strength to generate quicker core rotation. And soccer could help with higher endurance while on the mound.
I would have to agree with Mr. Hehan. Even more importantly than increased performance, playing multiple sports can really play a crucial role in injury prevention. In co-eights, athletes benefit greatly from the development of the main components of neuromuscular control, endurance, power, strength, agility, speed, flexibility, and stability. Any underdevelopment in these areas could lead to deficits and imbalances that leave athletes injury-prone. It is for this reason that well-rounded athletes tend to be less injury-prone. According to a study done on MLB players, those who were multi-sport athletes played significantly more average games than those who were single-sport athletes, 95.9 games versus 71.6 games to be exact. Furthermore, 86 single-sport athletes suffered either a shoulder or an elbow injury compared to only 27 multi-sport athletes. And if that wasn't enough, single-sport athletes were found to be 16% more likely to have recurring injuries to the elbow and shoulder. The choice to play multiple sports seems like a no-brainer to me.
Coach Hardman, any thoughts?
Yes, here at Ottawa Hills, we believe pitching to be a very important part of everything we do. That means keeping arms healthy. We only ask for 4 months out of the year to work with our guys, okay? The rest is really up to them. But this just allows our pitchers the opportunity to play some other sports and really just give their arms a break from the demands of throwing a baseball. I tell our guys after their travel season ends, you really shouldn't even think about picking up a baseball until February. I would say to our guys, try football, try basketball, try golf, even try soccer. The way I see it is, if they are playing basketball, they not only have the opportunity to give their brains and bodies a break from baseball, but they develop skills that will inevitably translate to the baseball as well, okay?
I would tend to agree, Coach, with the importance of giving the mind a break from baseball. Speaking from experience as a single-sport athlete who practiced and played for 8 months out of the year, it is incredibly important to take a break. By month 7, baseball can almost feel like a full-time job, as much as one may love it. So I would say in response to Coach Baker's comments earlier, it is difficult to put your best effort forward to better your skills when you aren't excited to play.
Well, Matt, that was a rather circuitous way of describing a player who is uncommitted in the first place. While I see where it's coming from, we only want guys on our team who never get bored of the game. If you truly love baseball, that love never goes away.
I would agree that the love of the game never goes away. However, the passion in which players practice and play with can simply not be forced. By giving players a long break, they're more likely to begin looking forward to baseball again. This allows players to return with even more passion and will than they had before, causing them to work harder to perfect their craft.
All right, thank you all. Valid points were brought up on all sides of the issue at hand. Now to broaden the scope a little bit, do you believe pitchers' main focus should be taking preventative measures to protect against injury, or should pitchers only worry about issues as they arise, instead of focusing more on improving their pitching skills? Who'd like to start us off? I can start us, Mr. Vaughn. All right, Coach Baker, the stage is all yours. Thank you, sir. So I frequently hear fastidious coaches go on and on about the importance of pitch counts, arm care, and the sort. So let me first address pitch counts. If my players are throwing gas and we are winning, I believe they have earned the privilege to stay in the game, no matter how many pitches they've thrown. As long as our players have a couple days rested after these long games, there's really not much harm they can do. This time off gives the arms time to heal. Taking pitchers out after they throw a certain number of pitches not only harms the team when the ace can no longer throw, but can also be damaging to a player's confidence, as they may feel as if they had a bad performance. If the acclaimed Nolan Ryan can throw 235 pitches and still pitch a record-tying 27 seasons, then my players can for damn sure throw 130.
Thanks, Coach Baker. Although I can agree that players' confidence may be impacted by pitch counts to a certain extent, it is more important that they do not throw too many pitches, as it can be detrimental to the health of their arms. And that is where I would strongly disagree with you. What you have failed to realize is that pitching with fatigue places pitchers at a severe risk of UCL tear. For every 10 pitches that youth pitchers throw, the risk of elbow pain indicating microtrauma increases 6%. Even more startling is that after 75 pitches are thrown, risk of elbow pain increases 50%. Full tears can be ascribed to various instances of microtrauma, otherwise known as microtears.
I totally agree, Dr. Steinberg. However, I would just like to point out that these findings are limited to youth players only. A study on college players found that in games where pitchers threw between 105 and 135 pitches, there were no significant alterations in pitching mechanics or elbow-shoulder kinetics observed. Additionally, total appearances, innings pitched, pitches thrown, innings pitched per appearance, and pitches per appearance had no significant correlation with the injury rates. Now, there's only one likely reason for this difference. Collegiate and professional baseball players likely have stronger and more stable muscles surrounding their UCL that have allowed them to get to the level they're at. Now, Coach Baker, I think this might be a testament to how important taking care of the arm is, as these players are at the highest levels of baseball for a reason.
I concur, Mr. Heehan. As a college baseball player who never got my dream realized due to injury, I can tell you the number one thing I would change if I could go back is how little I worked to protect myself from the possibility of future injuries. I was so focused on trying to throw harder to get to the show that I failed to pair these jumps in velocity with higher amounts of UCL overlying muscle training. There's little doubt that this imbalance is what put me under. Simple physics tells us that higher fastball velocity places more torque on our elbows. When the muscles surrounding the UCL are not strong enough to take torque off the UCL, that is when it tears like paper. A great exercise to get these muscles healthy is the rice bucket exercise. Simply pour rice into a bucket and squeeze and twist and sure enough, you'll feel the burn.
I'd like to take us in a little bit of a different direction by posing a question. Why can't we just recognize the warning signs of a UCL tear before it happens, rather than wasting time on injury prevention exercises? Our guys are busy and don't have time to fit these exercises into their already busy schedules. We'd rather spend our precious time sharpening our baseball skills. Mr. Heehan, could you enlighten us on some of those red flags? Certainly. The first most common antecedent to UCL tears is cervical rotation dysfunction, which essentially leads to pitchers flying open when they pitch, leading to stress on the muscles and ligaments of the elbow. The second red flag is tightness of the forearm, which is often a result of forearm muscles overcompensating for a weakened UCL, causing soreness. The last risk factor can be identified as any sort of lower body injury. This causes the connective chain to be broken at a weak point, putting more stress on other involved muscles and ligaments, such as the UCL. Now, Coach Baker, although it may be possible to identify these red flags and subjugate them before they get any worse, they do not always present themselves in time for corrective action. So wouldn't it be safer to take a more proactive approach by working to prevent the very roots of these red flags? Thank you, Dr. Heehan. Quite the impressive research you've done. Would anyone like to make any concluding remarks?
Yes, first of all, I appreciate the opportunity to have a discussion with such insightful people. All I would like to say is that it is easy not to take precautionary measures to prevent injury, as it often seems tedious and unimportant at times. However, if you truly want to play baseball at a higher level, it must be an essential part of your routine. Otherwise, you leave your fate in the hands of a single ligament.
Thank you, Mr. Bueller. Any final words? Well then, that just about wraps up today's episode. Thank you all so much for being here.
No, thank you.
It's been an honor. Thanks for having me.
Anytime, Doc. If you'd like to test your memory from the podcast so far, try your luck by clicking the link to a quiz in the description. Well, that just about does it for today's episode. Don't forget to leave a comment down below, as you may get featured in the season finale. Thanks for joining us. See you all next time. Bye-bye.